All right, you guys ready for the next comedian? Loving the energy, guys. Loving the energy. Okay, this next comedian, also from New York. Can you believe it? She's from Staten Island. Please give it up for Keisha Bisrack.
Hi, guys. Hi. Guys, get over yourself. You heard a Tuesday night? Guys, oh my God, okay. I'm going to keep my set short because I know that we all want to go home and watch Love Island. Yeah. Right? Okay. Just me and this group over here? Okay, cool.
Movie night.
And what? Oh, it's movie night.
It's movie
That's
night.
right. Okay. Whew, okay, super excited. All right, I'll keep this really quick. I'm Indo-Caribbean, and usually when people hear the word Indo-Caribbean, they get just as confused as when they hear the word capers. You've heard of them, you've seen them, but if someone were to ask you to explain what the fuck they are, you'd panic. I'm the kind of brown where people don't ask about my ethnicity. They just look at me and they just assume, oh, you're from India.
She just started, and then two more.
No. Any more guesses? No. Not Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Nepal? I'm not from any of those either, but you could have guessed more. My parents, they're from Trinidad and Tobago. Thanks. Caribbean islands, which means I was born in New York. And in my community, I was raised with this sort of competition between brown folks. You probably heard of it, colorism. Okay. Colorism is very subtle. It's not like racism. Racism is the big one. It's the one that we all know, right? Racism is like when your coworker Susan hogs the copy machine at work. That's racist. Okay, that's not racism. That's just Susan being a bitch. Fucking Susan. No, no. Racism is when Susan pats my head and goes, "Oh, I love black people hair." Susan. Colorism, though, is not Susan. Colorism is your auntie. Yeah. It's like a horror movie. It comes from inside the house. Yeah. Brown people do get to each other. Yeah. When I go visit my Auntie Dia's house, she doesn't look at me and just say, "Oh, hi, Keisha." No. She looks at me and she goes, "Hey, Keisha, you get real big." And she says it smiling. So I'm culturally obligated to be like, "Yep." Meanwhile, my Uncle Ramsing is dancing in the corner with his bottle of Johnny Walker Black going, "Hey, Keisha, you see this girl right here? She real sexy, eh?" Sir, that is your wife's sister! No! Okay, none of those were examples of colorism. I just wanted to paint the chaos that I grew up in. No, colorism is like the Starbucks inside of a Target. They've both been around forever. They're wildly problematic, and we're still shopping there! You walk in for paper towels, and you leave questioning your self-worth. And a pumpkin spice latte with double whipped cream. My actual order. No, I didn't even know that colorism was happening to me when I was a kid. You know, I'd see other Indo-Caribbean girlies, and I'd be like, "Oh my God, we're like sisters." And they look at me and they go, "But you're black." Like, okay, not offended, but interesting tone. Girl, we're coming from the same Mac Foundation family. What are we doing? Right. All right, I'm getting way too emotional about this. Look, listen, I never wanted to be a part of this competition because pumpkin spice lattes are disgusting. Okay, I only drank them because everyone else did, which honestly explains half my childhood. So now that I'm older, when I order coffee, I order... Okay, I still order pumpkin spice latte, all right? Sue me. Listen, there's a lot of things that therapy can fix, right? Yeah. But it cannot fix your auntie. All right, thanks, guys. That's all I got tonight.
Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said.
was saying to her earlier, I was like, you look just like somebody I know. And it's a shame because I really hate that person. Okay. All right, so, you guys ready for the next comedian? Yeah! That's right. This next comedian runs a weekly show at McLeod's. I've been on several times. She's a great host, and she's just a great person. Please give it up for Chelsea Holland!
Thank you so much. Keep it going for Miles. I think Miles might be my favorite host at Flappers. So if you ever come back here again and you hear me say that about somebody else, just know that I'm lying. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Happy Pride Month. It's the last day of Pride. Let's celebrate anybody proud. I think Miles called somebody out for being homophobic. It was maybe you? All right. All right. Miles may have called you out. I don't believe it. I think that was bad press. We got off to a bad start. But let's give a round of applause for Pride, okay? We actually had our Pride show at Flappers last night. You all missed it because you're all homophobic. No, I was on it. I was really honored to be asked. Because I'll be honest, I get a little bit of imposter syndrome around Pride Month, right? Like, I'm always worried that people, like, look at me and think that I don't belong in an LGBTQ space, right? But I do, okay? I'm a B. Yeah. That's bisexual, all right? Let's hear it for bisexual. Or it could stand for bitch, depending on who you ask, you know? But, you know, when I first came out, right, like, I've had a journey with, like, my identity. Because when I first came out, I was like, yeah, I'm bisexual, you know? I like both men and women. That's what I'm sticking to, right? Then, like, it became really popular to be like, I'm queer, right? So I was like, oh, maybe that's cooler. Maybe that's hipper. Maybe that's a queer, and, like, that can apply to both men and women, right? So it's like, yeah, maybe queer is the way to go. Then I was like, I don't know, am I pan? You know, because pan is like about like, you know, falling for the person over the gender, right? And that is kind of where I identify, but I gotta tell you, the pansexuals gotta work on the branding. Because they're not even a letter in the LGBTQ. At best, they're in the plus, and I'm like, listen, all right, like, I can't go with that, okay? I gotta be in the mix. I gotta be easily identifiable in that. So now I think I've come to a point where I've landed on, I think I identify as a Q, but a Q for questioning. Questioning why I married a man. Oh, it gets worse. He's also white, cisgender, and like annoyingly straight. Okay, you know, we had somebody talk about being embarrassingly straight earlier. This guy is annoyingly straight. Like, he only watches lesbian porn. That is how much he does not want to see another man's penis. And I know this not because I went through his search history. Maybe I did, but that's not how I learned this, okay? No, I found out the old-fashioned way when we moved in together. So we did the classic LA thing of we were both in studio apartments, moving 2 studio apartments into a 1-bedroom together, right? And we didn't hire movers because we're both in the arts. So, we're trying to do it ourselves and, you know, moving stuff from my place, moving stuff from his place, trying to decide whose furniture is better or whatever, right? We decided to go with his bed frame. On moving day, we're like, you know, lifting the bed frame, and it's really, I actually left out a really important part of the story. It's one of those bed frames with the drawers on the side. Yeah. So we're lifting the bed frame, and I'm like, wow, Alex, this is really heavy. You know, like, do you have, like, books in here or something? And he goes, white. I mean, he's white, but he goes like Casper the Friendly Ghost, okay? And he's like, I don't know. I haven't really opened those in a really long time. I don't know what might be in there. I'm like, okay, well, we have to open them because this is too heavy to lift otherwise. We open up the drawers, and what should tumble out but lesbian porn on DVD?
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, at first I was like horrified, right? I'm like, you are objectifying queer women for the male gaze. Like, I don't like it. It's disgusting. And then I sat with it for a minute, and I was like, I don't know if I can be that mad about lesbian porn on DVD. You know? Like, as a millennial, I do deeply respect the commitment to physical media. Yeah, like this wasn't some frenzied like 2 a.m. Pornhub search like with like gross like search keywords like MILF stepdaughter scissoring. By the way, I completely made that up. Okay, I'm a comic and a writer. That came from creativity. That's not indicative of my own search history. But listen, these were different. Okay, these had like production value, right? At the end, there's credits of people who worked on the movie. There's like hair and makeup, and there are elevated titles. I can't possibly improve this punchline, so I'll leave you with this. The one that I remember and will never leave me was Tales from the Clits. That's right. This man literally had curated the Criterion collection of lesbian porn. Okay, you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much. My name is Chelsea Allen. Give me the one for your host.